Mike, it is so hard not to read these stories and not get incredibly angry. It just gets worse and worse. What do we know about this new breach and how much they knew before they told the public?
We don't know a lot because they're not being particularly clear about what they knew, but we do know a couple of important things. One is that they had a major security investigation going on starting in March and going through May. They hired Mandiant, the same cybersecurity firm that they brought back in July, and they were doing a pretty extensive investigation for 3 months. Now, a company like Mandiant, that's a pretty expensive prospect. But the most interesting thing, if you look at their timeline of the July incident, the one that they found out about July, is the hackers, even though they found out about the theft of this data in July, when they did the investigation, when Mandiant came back in, they discovered that the data was stolen in May, which would have put it right in the middle of this earlier investigation. So there's a question of like why that wasn't found, how you could have a company like Mandiant examining your networks and other things and just miss the presence of a hacker in your network and the theft of this kind of data. It also raises just questions about what the executives knew when, whether they knew that the company was having multiple security problems at the time they did trades in May and in late July, early August. So again, it raises just all sorts of questions. And one of the things that's clear is, when a data breach like this, you want to be as transparent with the public as possible, and you want to do it as early as possible. And we just keep getting a trickle of new information almost daily now.
It feels like a mess, and it feels like they're not being transparent at all. I mean, Eric, you probably have a credit card, right? You're probably among the 143 million people, just like everyone else.
Well, it's shocking to me that, first of all, that the CEO of that company is still the CEO of that company. I don't understand what the board of directors is doing. But I think what we're realizing here is that our data is ending in these credit service bureaus without us knowing about it. I mean, we suspect, of course, we get a credit score and all that, but they collect very sensitive information about us without really our authorization. So the least you would expect is that the most important job that they do is to maintain that data safe. If you have information on the majority of American citizens, you have to expect that the whole hacking world is going to come after you.
Right. It's your one job, is to make sure it's protected.
And as your colleague just pointed out, if there is any kind of breach, then you need full transparency, because how are we possibly going to be able to trust those people again?